Hey, how's it going? Good morning, fellow YouTubers and subscribers. 33 subscribers, almost 6,000 views now, and that's just in 4 months. So I want to talk about what makes me special, what makes me better than you. What have I gone through that has allowed me to bring you this footage? What real life Illuminati death matches have I survived? I want to talk about the beatdowns I've survived. I want to talk about that specifically because I know for a fact you can't do it and you wouldn't do it, and I've yet to see anything like my videos on YouTube, period. I've seen a lot of disinformation out there and a lot of hiding behind stories that other people have already put out there. Okay, so I want to talk about some of the beatdowns I've taken to achieve this quantum of success that with just in 4 months, no outside funding, absolutely no help, that's verifiable. So let's talk about some of the things I've undergone that allowed me to be here to bring you these insane videos and the insane classified information that some of this is documented, but most of it appears to be some sort of a cover-up or a mask to cover up something else. So I wanted to talk about what things I was able to survive. Okay, folks, first off, it looks like 3 of my girlfriends are actually set up in some sort of environment to stab me. One of my girlfriends actually stabbed one of her boyfriends. Another girlfriend I had pulled out a steak knife out of my kitchen sink and was going to stab me. Instead, she cut her own arm open. Another girlfriend I had proceeded to pull out federal shoplifted goods and passed out knives to everybody in a room I was in. She ended up getting one man stabbed and another guy beat down. I was able to walk away from all 3 of those events perfectly unscathed. Most of my beatdowns include arrival to Denver, and even the tree's trying to beat me up. Just kidding, but no, really, that's how it is here. When you're bringing these things to light, this is how it is. And what prompted me to make this video last night, I actually almost got ran over. I get a lot of mock death threats, but last night I nearly got ran over by a Porsche. If I had actually crossed the street, a Porsche that actually looked just like that, it was a Porsche SUV, I would have gotten creamed. I was hauling ass down this exact road, actually, standing next to this badass Players store right here because I thought it'd be a good area for me to shoot this video. So yeah, a Porsche going about 60-70 miles an hour came tearing through the road right here and tried to lure me across the street to my sleeping quarters. If I had flown across the street, I would have gotten creamed. Nearly been wiped out by several buses, several light rails, nearly been hit at least half a dozen times. I've been set up drunk to the point of I don't know where I'm at. I've had undercover police officers follow me around while I'm drunk, steal my stuff, and then I've actually damn near had my eye knocked out of my head. I damn near had my eye knocked out of my head right here. This whole eye was gashed open and just split open, and this was roughly right before I started filming, actually. So what happened that night, what transpired that night, I actually was leaking blood. I actually had to walk over an hour. It was pouring down rain. I had nowhere to go. I was out here in Denver. All my stuff got stolen. Come to find out later, the police actually picked it up. The undercover police officers of the Masonic Fraternal Order were following me around, set me up and stole my stuff. They seized it as lost property within their department. So what happened that night, I went into an alley, I climbed underneath a soaking wet couch, pouring down rain, laid there for about 4 hours, which is 4 to 6 hours with blood just, my eye just practically hanging out of my head. Then I went to the hospital, had it stitched up, and went to work the next day. I got into another attack, actually. Interestingly enough, after I was lured into a Ross Dress for Less, I found some Illuminati artwork shirts, and I proceeded to purchase some of these items, and I put them on. And when I got down to an area where I was drinking with friends after work, I was set up again, and I was attacked by three very large black African American males, and choked out. I got dinged up pretty bad. I hit one with the beer I was holding, and I got damn near impaled in this armpit. I think I still have a scar. I don't know if you can see it still, but I can see it when I look in the mirror. I damn near got impaled right through my armpit. I got choked out that night. Could have got my neck snapped. I got up, I slept outside with a couple drunk friends that night, had nowhere to go again, and I got up and walked 3 miles and went out to a job site. Face smashed to pieces. Let's see, some of their favorite tactics to pull are keeping you awake. You'll have several undercover informants following you around while you attempt to find out and film these kind of leads that they're trying to cover up, coincidentally, while you're trying to film them and find them. They will keep you awake. If you sit down too long in one area, you will be swarmed, all right? You ever heard the saying on Call of Duty, hostile swarm inbound? Well, this shit happens in real life, but with FBI informants with ties to the Masonic Lodge and DEA. So what they do is they show up at a place you choose to rest, and they will keep you awake, and they will make noise, and they'll do aggravating little things to try and basically hurry you along. Now, sometimes you can be kept up for maybe a week straight, and you'll be stuck out in the cold looking for leads, looking for things to film. Quite possibly like I was, with injuries. Worrying about your stuff getting stolen, have nowhere to put your stuff, right? You've got to carry your studio around while you're getting these leads. You don't want the police or FBI informants, federal trolls walking around to get a hold of your stuff. So you have to stay awake. Now, while you're staying awake, of course, bad things can happen. You can lose your temper, right? You can lose your cool, and you could go down a horrible path and end up in some sort of physical calamity. So for damn near 400 days since my arrival into Denver from the Greyhound station has been basically one big gigantic WWE match inside of an arena I have yet to been thrown out of, or I have yet to walk away from. And I don't have too many more videos I want to make, but I definitely wanted to go over this Illuminati beatdown video. Basically signifying why I know that I'm king of the players. I am king of the players. I have brought you the ultimate footage. All right, I've got Men in Black in my videos. I have DEA showing up at precise mathematical times in my videos. Nobody else has this, all right? I'm not in a studio. I'm in a city. All right? I'm not bringing you disinformation. I'm not using other stories that are out there. However, if I find proof, extra proof, I go to those stories. I do Google research, and then I tie those into new videos of things I've already filmed about the DEA or the Masonic green energy source controlled sex offender Islamic Police State environments. All right. So That's a minimal amount of things I've undergone. Again, I've also had, I went into this as well. I have people following me around trying to steal my stuff, or there's also going to be people, if you try and do this, that are going to follow you around and do the same thing. And that's mainly why nobody has been able to document this word for word the way I specifically have, all right? They have to use some sort of a cover or a mask, like when we're talking about the green energy source. Immediately they're going to go into talking about reptilians or a Graylien, which is actually a gay Masonic human, homosexual, and that is also another form of terrorism that I have survived, is a mass discrimination in this city, this Covenant City, against me being a straight individual, me knowing about these secrets, and me not falling into a homosexual cult or club where I essentially am not able to reveal any of these secrets. I was personally handed the book of the DEA. I personally noticed classified information before I even started this enlightenmental journey of illumination. So I want to make that real clear. All right. My grandfather was a 32nd degree Freemason. My family member, all 3 male members in my family that are above me as far as age are in the Navy. I don't have any military training other than the military training I've managed to survive being in Denver. Okay, the beatdowns I've been able to survive in Denver. So thought it would be a cool idea to go ahead and talk about that. As well, I actually filmed another trap the other night. They actually set up traps, multiple setup scenarios, like to get you shot. I've been rushed by armed guards. A man assaulted me. I didn't cover this either. I had this on film as well. A man assaulted me. A federal Masonic informant assaulted me downtown at the Guarantee Bank. Another black African American male. When the officer arrived on scene, the officer actually tried to lure me back into a small enclosed area again, and then was basically wording things, trying to get me to swing on this guy so that they could cover up the fact that they were doing something they weren't supposed to, that they put their hands on me, and they didn't think I was going to be brave enough to report this kind of behavior, or this kind of activity. If I'm already documenting this kind of activity, these tragic events, and again, I've solved 9/11. It's not a mystery to me anymore. I've solved Heath Ledger. I've solved the James Holmes murder. I've solved Covenant Environments, Ancestry.com. Digital reality. The reality we live in is digital. Genes and DNA, 3D printed DNA. So by me bringing you these word for word and not masking them or trying to make it into some sort of a story or a video game, I've suffered a lot of beatdowns, okay? A lot of cold nights, a lot of not so fun times with no money. No money, nothing to do, nowhere to go, and no food. And no sleep, and not even allowed to sleep, or I am coaxed into an area where I could possibly get shot by an undercover fraternal order of Masonic police officer, or set up and trespassed from somewhere, essentially keeping me from filming specific things I need to film and document. So that's my beatdown video. King of the Players, Shane K Play, that's actually what that stands for, King of the Players. So there you have it, Unreal Tournament Master, Shane K Play, Little Indie.